Monogam-ish contains content intended for mature audiences. The views expressed here are for entertainment purposes only. Please enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Justina.
And I'm Kenji.
And we're Monogam-ish. And today we have Isabella Dollish on with us. I'm really excited about this one. Isabella's been friends with our producer for quite some time. So we're going to delve in and listen to all of our secrets.
I know. This is the first time we're meeting, and you sound so interesting.
Yes. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, how would you describe yourself? Let's start with that. We always ask this question. And when I say describe yourself, I want to know your sexual orientation and or preference. So, bisexual, female, and your relationship status.
Okay, well, I consider myself hetero-flexible.
Okay.
And I also consider myself monogamish.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And the reason is because I have a partner in California. I call him Daddy, and that's what he'll go by here is Daddy. And
okay. So we know when you're talking about Daddy, it's that one specific person.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so we swing together in a normal world. I wouldn't call this a normal world currently.
Okay.
Right.
So outside of COVID times, you swing together.
Yes.
But you have a long distance relationship, it sounds like?
Well, it started off that way. I'm a Colorado native.
Okay.
Born and raised in Colorado Springs, went to college down there, the whole nine.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the Springs.
I know. Such a conservative place for an Isabella Dollish to be born.
I know.
No. I grew up in the underground of the Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay. So the other side.
Yeah.
The other side.
There was places like Hide and Seek, which was this fabulous gay club, which was right off of Colorado and Walnut.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Right off of I-25, right
Okay.
there. It was that corner building, most of it, and there were like 5 different clubs, and it was amazing. And it was great until the original owner passed away, and then the person who inherited it, it's my understanding they didn't pay taxes, and poof.
Oh.
Damn.
Bye-bye.
So you grew up there.
I grew up there dancing, at the age of like 14.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you
So-
say dancing, you mean professionally?
Oh, not professionally at
No.
14. No, this was just
Okay.
going to the club when you're supposed to be a minimum of 16.
Okay.
Oh, sneaking
Right,
in?
right.
Sneaking
Okay.
in.
Well, no, I just had my sister's ID.
Oh. That works.
Fake IDs.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
And we're talking, the 90s.
Yeah.
So
It was
Yeah.
easier then.
I know. Way easier.
Now they
By
scan
far.
them. Facial recognition is coming next.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's true. It's everywhere.
So,
So you met him, and you've had this long distance relationship with Daddy.
with Daddy, yeah. Yep, we're going on 3 years now. And I moved to California, though, in Sacramento in January. I'm out here for
Oh.
work right now, as well as to help out my family because my stepmom injured herself.
Oh.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. No, I don't mind being here for them. It's, family. You got to take
Right.
care of them.
So you're actually coming back to visit then and
Yeah,
joining us.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I'm only here on a visit. I'm up here. I have a couple of other gigs in the next couple of days, and I'm back down in the Springs for a week. And
That is
Then-
so awesome.
yeah.
You feel so blessed. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Right on. Right on.
So you're monogamish because you guys swing.
we swing, and we like to share and we like to play, but we just don't have the time to deal with teaching people how to communicate effectively in a polycule.
Right.
So if we meet the right person, if we meet the right people, then that is a possibility. We are open to being friends with our play partners. That's not an issue. We are open to having, more of a relationship with the people we're with. But ultimately, it's just been a lot easier just to have let's do a swap. It's good to see you. Have a few drinks, maybe have dinner, and go
Mhm.
back home together. And
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
do you
yeah.
do you typically only play with Daddy?
No, actually, I do have someone here in the Denver area that I have permission to film with, and been playing with him some, done some spanking, shirt and tie video stuff with. Have also,
nice.
I have permission to do porn stuff and have done one of those, but my problem is tech. I suck at tech, so I've got videos, but I need someone to put that shit together, but he doesn't have time anymore.
Sorry.
That's okay. No.
So you it sounds like you're very monogamish then.
Yep.
On both the work level and personal level, correct?
Yep.
So were you doing this dominatrix type stuff, and you refer to yourself as a pro switch?
Correct.
So let's educate our audience on what a pro switch is first.
Okay, well, a switch is someone who does both topping or doming or being a bottom or a submissive, and we can fly either way. I actually will switch in the middle of sessions quite often for people. It's quite, a lot of people love that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. But with the BDSM community, usually you're either a dom or a sub. But there is those of us that are in between, and we're switches, and we can do either or. And I'm very sadomasochistic, so I like to be beaten really hard, or I like to beat the shit out of you. That's my preference.
Okay.
But ultimately, when you book a session with me, it's based on your preference as a client. What is it that you're looking for? And I primarily run around in the spanko scene, so I do a lot of spankings.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And a lot of your work is commissioned then.
Yes.
So how, just out of curiosity, how do you determine how much somebody's going to pay? Like, what's your, if I spank you 30 times?
And does it switch up by like, hey, you get the hand, and that's, whatever, and then the paddle, and that's a little bit more,
You have a negotiation for what implements are used during a session. Usually it starts with a hand and can progress all the way to a paddle. But you're generally paying for an hour of my time.
Okay.
So it's about how much time am I spending? How much time is it going to take me to make whatever you've asked me to make? How much time will it take me to set up the cameras and the lights or the videographer? Like if I have to get him and I have to get another model and I'm herding cats.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Herding cats is not an easy job to do.
No. Oh, man, yeah. Once you start getting more people and, hey, does this work for you? This work? And then you're like, oh, God.
Anytime there's moving parts like that, it's always difficult.
But it also helps when it is a commissioned work. I try to make sure everyone is getting something out of the deal.
Right.
So it's not a one-sided thing. If I'm, asking you to schedule a specific time for me, I'm expecting you to be there for several hours, knowing that you have to set up the lights and you have to set up the camera, and we have to talk about the placement in whatever studio we're in, right? Like we could be in a hotel room, we could be in a house.
Yeah, because everything's switching all the time.
Well, I'm flying everywhere, so a lot of times, a lot of the things I've been hired for have been in a hotel room at a spanking convention.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so a lot of the work I've done has been there. My favorite studio is here in Denver. And that's Real Spankings. They're fantastic. They're like the best to work for. Love them.
That's
Really?
awesome. So when did you start being a pro switch and custom entertainer as your job?
As my job, I started that in the end of 2017.
Okay.
Oh, so you've been doing this quite some time.
For a little while, yeah.
Nice.
And you get most of your business, you said earlier, through Instagram and Twitter.
Well, to be fair, some of my like in real life clients, my consistent clients, were met at conventions before.
When you first started.
Oh,
when I
okay.
first started, or I would have picked up more people that I'd be working with right now if it was a normal world and conventions were still happening.
Right.
Oh, wow.
But what I also do though is I'll get like commissions on Instagram and Twitter to get videos. You want a specific video with whatever sort of kink or whatnot. I've never really sold any boy-girl stuff. It's all been mostly solo, or if it has been boy-girl, there was no sex or sexual touching. I don't sell that in person. And for some reason, I've been able to manage to mostly not have to do that on camera either.
Oh,
That
wow.
is amazing.
So,
It's
yeah.
amazing
wow.
how the BDSM community is really not about sex.
Yeah.
that still blows my mind because
Mhm.
that's what everybody thinks it is.
Mhm.
And, you know, for us personally, I like to be tied up. I like to be spanked, but that's about as far as we've gone.
Mhm.
We do the cross and things like that at
Mhm.
some of our clubs, and I've been on there. But other than that, we're not as in the BDSM scene.
Mhm.
So in doing this job and doing the
Mhm.
podcast, we've learned a lot more on the BDSM side and how it's really detail oriented. There's so many more
Mhm.
rules. There's such another level of respect, even other than the lifestyle and the
Mhm.
swinging. And it's primarily not about sex. It's
That
crazy.
blows my mind.
I know.
That blows my mind.
It's very strange, mainly because you think that they're getting some sort of sexual gratification just from the pure hitting and pain. And
Mhm.
so,
Some people can get off from that. And on a personal level, for me, sex and kink was personally interconnected when I started. I didn't start this
Yeah.
as a professional.
right.
I was in the lifestyle for many years before I actually decided to capitalize on it.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what just made you come into this one day? You were like, oh, you know, maybe I can do this.
Well, I got diagnosed with severe allergies. I'm allergic to the Front Range.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
So's my husband.
So am I. Right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, and
Everything.
they put me on a bunch of medications, kind of screwed my world. And I had to make the decision to get off of that. And I also made the decision that I didn't belong in corporate America anymore. I didn't belong in, you know, because I worked for the state at one point. No more, no. Like, I'm good.
You were ready to do something that made you happy and fulfilled you.
Yeah, and like I would travel everywhere, and I'm kind of a gypsy, and I had always dreamed about like owning a van and like, you know, driving cross country and being one of those like hippie girls.
Van life. Van
Yeah,
life, right?
Right? Yeah, I would totally be one of those girls.
And
Well,
just beating some asses along the way.
yeah. Well, instead of driving, I fly,
right.
and then I
Nice.
beat some asses here and there.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
So you converted this into a full-time job now where
Mhm.
you primarily do commission work, videos, and then you do some in-person pro
Mhm.
switching.
Yep.
Wow.
I know.
And so how does Daddy feel about all that?
100% supports me. He knew that that was my job before I met him. Like, I met him
Oh.
right after I started. It wasn't very long after. I
Mhm.
actually, before I started this, I was doing some research and arranged a paid for trip to LA by saying, hey, you know, I'm interested in, like, you know, possibly moving out there. Let me check this out. And got a dude to pay to bring me out there. And then I got, like, a tour of LA and, like, the lower South Coast.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
damn. Okay.
Yeah. So you just got to negotiate.
Right?
If your mama didn't teach you how to bargain, then your mama forgot to teach you something.
I love it.
Everything's negotiable.
Everything's
Yeah.
negotiable.
Yeah.
So now you fly all over,
Mhm.
and post-COVID, you're hoping to even go international?
Yep. I'll definitely be making it overseas. And I know that as soon as I have the clear to know that I'm going over there, it won't be hard to pick up gigs. I know some people in Spain, and I know some people in the UK, and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So you're just
so-
going to go over there and just hop around,
well,
hop around?
what I would really, what I'm trying to convince my client to do is hey, let's take a few months and
And
let's
just
just
go
do the
travel.
European tour.
That would be nice.
We did that for a month.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
It was.
Yeah, I've been to Prague in the Czech Republic, and I've been to the UK before, but I haven't gotten to do the dream tour.
Oh,
Like, that's
man.
what I want
Nice.
to do. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's cool. The two places I haven't been in Europe. You know, we went all southern.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah.
I bet
oh,
it was
yeah.
gorgeous though, and most enjoyable.
Oh, it was our favorite trip.
It was.
Ever.
It was a
It was our most favorite trip.
I would love
perfect trip.
I would love to do a Mediterranean like cruise. That would be fabulous.
Oh God,
Wouldn't
yes
that
it would.
be great?
Yes, it would.
I don't know when
Yeah.
cruises are going to come back. I have a feeling that's going to be one that's further even down the line than you getting back to the UK.
Quite
true.
probably. Just because the close quarters are so
Right.
those are so, and you're
Mhm.
It's
trapped.
hard. You're trapped. There's no sending somebody to the hospital on a ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No, and it's kind of hard to quarantine. You end up just having to quarantine the whole damn show.
Right.
The whole floor, right?
Right.
Not well, I think, like, how the question is like, how are the venting systems set
Right.
up? Like, are they connected? Are
Exactly.
they HIPAA filters? Are they blah blah blah?
Right.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Different world we live in. Stuff that we never used to think about. So when you travel again, how does that work with Daddy? So do you okay, I'm going to do this? And I'm like, do you have to ask him for permission prior, or how does your communication on that work?
No, I manage what I need to manage, and we communicate when, like, if I know these are the dates I'm in California, we, check our calendars, we coincide times to get together. And then if I'm flying somewhere, he knows that I'm going to be gone, because I'm obviously not asking him to get together. Yeah. And also he travels for his work as well. And so
nice.
When we were dating long distance, he was able to make arrangements through his business to fly out here and get hotels and
see you
that
while
works.
doing business.
Doing business. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta be smart.
Right?
That works perfectly.
Yeah.
Communication is super hard, especially
gosh.
already in a monogamish relationship, because communication is really key for it all to work. But then you filter in that also is your job and traveling.
Oh my
doing
gosh.
it long distance, I imagine it takes a lot of work. So how is your guys' communication?
We talk every day. And we may not like have an in-depth conversation per se, but we don't have to have that. I'm 40.
Okay.
Right? I'm 40. I've lived a little. I've been around the block. I'm divorced.
Oh.
I'm not codependent, essentially. He's not codependent. We lead busy lives. We get together as often as possible. He has elderly parents. I have elderly parents. Like,
a lot of moving parts.
a lot of moving parts. So we cherish the time we get together. He treats me like a queen. Like it, makes me really happy in bed. Right? And if I need extra dick, all I have to say is, Daddy, I need some more. I'm not getting what I need right now. And I did that, like, partway through COVID. I was like, I need some dick.
Now, would you say that you had to ask him that because your sexual levels are on a different page? Like, he doesn't require as much as you do?
Well, I think it's because my sexual levels went higher because I'm an old lady now. And
your hormones are going crazy.
Yep.
yeah, I'm started perimenopause, so I'm in that place where I feel like I'm a teenager again, and I'm like, give it.
Yeah.
So is there a big age difference with you and Daddy?
Well, honestly, he is 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So, he's fabulous, and I like them older. They have more maturity and they're put together better. And he has, chivalry, that concept. He was taught that.
That's awesome.
Hey, right here.
He's
Serious.
very good at that.
Serious.
Open the door.
Doors.
I don't have to pay for anything. He treats me like the queen, right? Like, so with Daddy, that's what you get is someone who, if I'm having a bad day, I need someone to bring me down a notch, because sometimes your emotions are going over. I can be like, Daddy, and he can bring me down a notch, because he's like, hey, calm and collected, and knows how to, like, do that. And sometimes I have to tell him, look, now's not a good time to talk to me. I'm not in a good frame of mind.
Right.
And I'm just going to be a bitch to you, and that's not acceptable. So I will talk to you tomorrow.
Oh,
Right?
love the communication. Love it. Love it.
So do you live with Daddy in California?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you're very independent from that relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
She's
awesome.
a very independent woman.
Yes. Does Daddy have any other relationships outside of you?
No, just work and his family obligations. He has a couple of jobs. I'm not going to tell you what he does.
Oh, yeah.
No worries.
Do either of you guys have kids?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't have him. He never had him, doesn't want him.
Hey,
works perfectly.
perfect situation. Perfect situation.
That
Oh,
is, and
God.
it would be hard with your lifestyle.
I
with
know.
flying and traveling as much as you do.
Mhm.
And
We don't have pets either.
Yeah.
No responsibilities.
Oh, well, we have
Love it.
responsibilities, just not those.
Not that. Not those. Not those. You
no
know, yeah.
responsibilities for
like,
other living beings.
Yeah.
Family, but not
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
Not babies. You know,
Right.
babies take so much out of your world, and they're precious. There was a time when I wanted them, but to be fair, I wouldn't be flying everywhere and doing all these fun things, and driving up and down the East Coast and driving all over Texas and
Doing all this stuff
all
that
over
you wanted
California.
to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I moved in January, I drove from Colorado all the way out to California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you have some kind of routine clients though then
Mhm.
that you see. How does that work? So when you go visit them, are they paying you per hour again that you're out there?
Depends on what sort of arrangement they've made.
Okay.
So it could be per hour, per day, I would like you to hang out with me for a week, and we're gonna do these adventures while you're here with me.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. A whole week. What's the longest?
Or more.
What the longest trip you've been on?
A normal world, I was
Mhm.
usually gone for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. Then I would be home
Oh wow.
for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how long I was gone, because you need some self-care, some
Mhm.
rejuvenation time, and some
Right.
get the hell away from me time.
Wow, that was
well, and
way
you're
longer.
so independent too.
Yeah.
That alone time you probably miss after being 6 weeks.
Oh, I have to have a very healthy balance between me time, and I also, though, I do need some spotlight. Like, I am a little spotlight whore.
Give me the attention.
Give me. Look at me.
So what kind of weird kinky things have you been asked to do? Have you ever turned anybody down?
Oh, I turn people down all the time.
What don't you do?
Well, hard limits are, no bodily fluids. That includes blood, urine, scat, none of that. Right?
That's good.
No minors is very much important.
Oh,
No animals. I'm definitely not gonna have any of that.
Right.
Yeah. All the illegal shit.
yeah. Like let's be straight here. And if you're doing like a session with me in real life, you're not allowed to touch me sexually. You can't touch my breasts. You can't touch my vagina. You can't touch my ass, like my anus, right? Like
Mhm.
you can spank my globes. That's what you're allowed to spank me if that's part of the arrangement, but you're not allowed to touch me sexually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
So
love
you
it.
have a very strict. Do you write like a contract up for each client, or is it more of just a verbal?
It's usually done electronic communication, so that there is some sort of agreement, and then there's another verbal, like you sit down, like you don't just like walk in the room and start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, like you sit down, you talk, you confirm a few things, and then you get set up, and then you start.
And then you start.
Like there's negotiations to be had. You want to make sure that you're still on the same page, that they haven't adjusted anything. A lot of times there's role play involved. So quite a bit of time I'm, playing a part. Yeah, I'm a secretary, or I'm a schoolgirl, or I'm a whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like for real spankings, they do like school. It's like a institute for corrective behavior kind of stuff. And so like in spanking world, that's a lot of disciplinarian things, and like so it's like a lot of people kind of want that corrective discipline, and they'll use it to do things like I've had people practice more in this, that, or the other, whatever their goal is. It's basically life coaching.
Oh,
Like
wow.
you coach them to get their shit together, or clean up their acts, or strive to get to this goal that's been kind of out of reach, and you just
wow.
so
So walk
Nice.
us through that. So somebody reaches out to you,
Mhm.
and what's the process from? Typically they're reaching out on Twitter. You said they're sliding into your DMs.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
or they're sending you a message on Instagram or something
Mhm,
like that.
or email. There's the various ways you can contact me.
Mhm.
Yep. So with that, a lot of times, you just ask them, hey, well, how can I help you? What are you here for?
Mhm.
Like, what's up? And I would have to say that, you know, if you're not careful, you're going to waste all day with a bunch of idiots. So
Right?
if you, depending on how they respond to you, is depending on how much time you actually give them or not. Because if they say, how can I would like to get something from you. I'd like to, you know, I see that you are a spanking model or whatever, or you're a dominatrix and I need that in my life, or right. So if they have the appropriate approach, then you know, might spend a little bit more time with them, but they understand that they need to give you a deposit or give some sort of investment for your time. If you are wanting to negotiate in real life session, you're going to give me a deposit and it's transferable but not refundable, honey. Right?
you.
Like,
Right.
okay, so I'm willing because life happens. You got sick, you got the flu. Yeah, I don't want to see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks. Like, okay, that's cool. Thanks for letting me know. I'll let you know some more times here in a little bit. I got to look at my calendar. And then, like, we'll get together before I leave or when I come back.
Right.
You know, but it's like, no, if you canceled that original date, then you have to wait till the schedule's available again to see you.
Businesswoman,
Yeah.
through and through.
So how much of your schedule would you say is booked from this? Would you say it's as much as a full-time job, like 40 hours a week that you're doing this?
No, thankfully not. No. Part of
That's the way it should be. I don't know whoever came up with a stupid 40-hour work week anyways.
Oh, no.
No. I top out at 19.
Yeah, I'm done.
No, it just it depends. Like if it's say a convention, I could be working for Thursday, Friday, Saturday into Sunday and not really have much of a break in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
And then you can walk away from that with some money to survive for a bit or whatever. And, you know, you just be smart about it. And one of the ways to be smart about it is when you go on these adventures, don't pull your fucking wallet out.
Right?
So primarily they're paying for everything.
I don't pull my wallet. I just like, can I do that? Can we do this? Can I have that?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, they've already flown you out. You
Right.
know, what are they going to say? No.
So what does your average client look like?
You know, there isn't really per se an average client. I would say that I'm fairly shocked at how many attractive men come to me for like little strip teases and stuff. Because I'll do like little video, like Skype show kind of things, right? Where, and a lot of those clients will buy like, you know, 3 to 10 minutes. And then half the time they're like these really attractive dudes. And then they only use like half that time, if that. And you're like, well, thanks for the extra monies.
Yeah.
3 to 10 minutes?
3 to 10 minutes. Yeah. It's really
And you're
easy.
doing the little dance. Are you guys seeing, is it a two-way camera via Skype? Or are they just looking at you?
It can be any video format that you are comfortable using.
Wow.
And then you both have your camera on, right? And so you're usually just doing a little dance, and you know they're touching themselves. Like I'm not touching them; they're touching themselves.
Wow.
And they'll pay for 10 minutes and not even use half the time?
There's a lot of that, yeah.
I know. Huh. You were in the wrong business,
5
girl.
minutes. 5 minutes and you're out the door. You got 5 minutes, buddy.
Dude.
That's
Hey,
amazing.
I know.
What would you say age range is?
Yeah, demographics.
I get quite a few like 20s, mid-20s.
Okay.
Sometimes like early 20s. I haven't seen, you don't usually see teenagers in any way, but it's usually like once they're kind of like in college and have been there for a couple of years, have some money in their pockets, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
Something they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. But then I also have clients that are as old as like, you know, 75.
Oh, wow.
So it just depends
Mm-hmm.
on who is willing to, you know, go out there and reach for their dreams in that essence. Because first off, you have to have enough guts to come find me. You need to know what it is that I'm doing, right? Like
Right.
you need to know what it is you want. And I have clients that are on the older side of the scale that had nightmares back in the day before internet, trying to find people to engage in their kink with, getting just spankings, no sex, just some spankings, and not even heavy spankings. Like, they just light spankings. We really want to, see a girl's butt jiggle. Light, isn't it just like a massage? It really is.
Oh my God, I'm sure before the internet, it had to be like so scary, because everybody's kink is just their kink.
Would you say about 50% of the time you turn them down, or?
No, because the people that actually approach me appropriately, they get the job. Like, they pay me, they take care of me, they appreciate me. They know that they're better off with me, because the thing that I provide that some other, like, fine doms might not provide is the illusion of your kink being enacted without it actually me financially raping you and everything that you have. But we play the game, the mind game, right? Like, so I care about the people I work with. I want to see you succeed. I don't want you to become financially destitute because you're talking to me. And so
does that happen a lot in your community?
It will happen a lot in the sex world, where if someone has that kink where they really want a woman to take whatever they want and all their money and take over my accounts and do this and that, they have lost their entire world to that kind of stuff. And so I'm willing to play the mind game. I like to mind fuck you, play the game, but I actually in the end really care about where you are as a human. Like, I want you to be okay.
Because you have like morals and ethics.
Yeah.
So now you've reached the part where they've reached out to you. They've told you what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a time where you've gone ahead and done it, but then you're like, no, we can't do repeat business?
I have cut people off before because they crossed boundaries or lines. You don't ever want to misstep in the BDSM community or in the kink community, especially with models or people who do it professionally, because we have a network.
Mm-hmm. They will get blacklisted.
People get blacklisted. If you screw up enough, you won't be able to go to the parties. Or the conventions, as I've mentioned before, parties, conventions, same thing.
So you overall have felt safe doing this when you travel and everything like that, and you're meeting a person?
Well, I was a corrections officer at one point in my past life.
My gosh.
So you're used to beating ass.
Oh my gosh. I know, right?
Just a totally different kind.
Oh my gosh. Good for you.
Well, it teaches you situational awareness.
Right.
Okay. And I didn't have guns or tasers.
No. Yeah.
I had my hands, I had handcuffs, I had shackles, I had coworkers. And we were able to, use joint manipulations, pressure points, right? Different things that you do. And so if you are actually situationally aware, you don't ever have to engage. Okay. If you present yourself as a victim, then you're going to be one, honey. If you learn how to, say, post up, like I have taken the BART in San Francisco all over the place by myself, gotten off in the middle of San Francisco, hoofed it everywhere by myself with a backpack on, no problem, meeting new people, meeting new contacts, doing the networking, hoofing it. And it's just if you know how to present yourself, if you know how to, put your back against the wall while you're checking your phone, and you do the scanning, like, hey, I see you. How are you? Right? Like if you know how to act and you're respectful, that's really key. Like, you don't need to have an attitude. Just, you can smile. If they say hi to you, say, hi, have a beautiful day. Right? Like, it's really easy to share love. And a lot of times the universe will provide people for you in instances that will provide extra security as well. So on that, on adventures in the BART, in the, Lake Merritt, Oakland area, not the best of stops on the BART, you run into security guards that you jive with because, hey, you were a corrections officer and they see you doing security guard correction officer behavior.
Right? Right?
And they kind of like come and say, hey, how are you doing? Especially when you're, you know, a 5'1", 120-pound girl.
Right. That's why I say,
Right?
that's why I posed the question, because you're
Yeah.
traveling to meet these people that you've
Mhm.
maybe had a conversation with via text or phone or email. And, you know, have you ever gotten in a position where you're like, oh, I need to get out of here quick?
Yeah, no, because you have a safety net. If it's a new client that I've never met before, I have a check-in procedure. There's certain people that I check with. One of them has to be like in my vicinity, so you have to be able to like get to me.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Right? And then Daddy's always a part of that circle. So if Daddy doesn't hear anything, then all hell's gonna break loose, right?
Right.
Because then Daddy's gonna be like, "This is where she was. This was the last communication. This is," and the police are gonna be contacted, and they're told that, and I tell them there's a certain procedure, and I'm not gonna tell you what that procedure is, but I'm going to need to get on and off of my phone at certain times to ensure that we don't have the cops here. And you have to listen to your gut too.
Yes.
So, if you aren't capable of listening to your gut and being assertive, like if you speak up, 9 times out of 10, the person is going to stop because they're so startled that you even said anything.
Nice. 'Cause you're this
Right?
dainty little female. They don't expect that from you. They're just like, oh, okay.
Right. Well, but you know, as a dainty little female, I like to beat the shit out of you.
Yes.
So most of these people have seen my portfolio. They've seen my work. They see the kind of beating I can take. They see the kind of beating I can give.
So where's that portfolio? I want to see that.
You
Where?
can
What's
see-
the website?
That's on. If you go to my Fat Life page, you can see some of the guys I've worked with that have allowed me to take pictures of their really bruised bums on there. That can show you some of it. If you order a custom, you can see it then. But like, if you're really wanting us to get bruised or be bruising someone, you need to be paying for that because you're taking someone out of work for time. Like, you can't take sexy butt pictures or nude pictures with yellow and green on your booty.
Right.
Right.
It takes a little bit of the time for them to go away.
Well, and some people like that, and so you can get like a small market of that, and you know, sometimes it can like fade in a cool way. So, but usually, like once you have the heavy bruising, it's within the first like 72 hours that you can get some pretty cool photos, and then it becomes that just like awful healing bruise shit.
Right.
Yeah.
That no matter what angle you take a picture at, it looks nasty.
Yeah, and there's
I know.
there's no
Ugh.
putting makeup on my pasty ass. Okay.
Do you have any sort of other recovery process?
You use arnica.
Arnica.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Arnica is
huge.
your friend.
Yeah.
'Cause
Orally and lotion, or
I will sometimes do the oral, but it's mostly just the cream on your booty, and that's especially important when you're at a convention to have that, because if you don't, it you need the swelling to go down. Like you're doing like back to back to back to back things, and if you don't watch it, you can't work the whole weekend. And so you use the arnica, and you plan your sessions in such a way that you are never, fully used up.
Yeah, right.
you know what would probably help her? So we have been huge on, this health kick, as many people have post-COVID. And I've been researching and looking into all these alternative therapies. And I bet you compression therapy, because it's essentially the same thing. You've bruised the muscle and you're having to repair and heal.
Where do you get it around your butt, though?
The hip one.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a compression therapy set that we wear, and you have boots, and it essentially detoxifies you, and it cleans out your lymphatic system, and it's
nice.
it's almost like a massage, a deep massage.
I can take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of athletes use it to recover. So post, a triathlon, or post, a heavy workout or something like that, they'll put these boots on, and it helps speed up the recovery process.
I guess the question for me would be like, how much space do they take up and how heavy are they?
Right, because you're traveling a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
know.
So, I prefer flying Southwest because they give you
2 bags for free.
Bags.
bags for free. Well,
We do
actually,
too.
if you stop and think about it, they give you 3 bags
Right.
because you have the
Your
carry-on,
carry-on.
the 2 checks, and your personal item,
Mhm.
which, if you're smart about it, is a nice backpack.
Right.
Oh, damn, the
Right.
4 things.
So
Yeah.
it's really 4 things
Nice.
because technically that backpack is really a carry-on in and of itself.
Mhm.
Right.
As long as it fits under the seat, that's the key. That's your personal item needs to fit under the seat. And they make backpacks that you can stuff to the gills and
It's
Right.
Right under there.
right
huh?
under there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know. Sex toys are fucking heavy.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
Yeah, that, and you have to be careful. Like, you're not gonna rock those through TSA unless you want to embarrass the TSA agent because they're gonna have to open that shit.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
like, and sometimes, you know, if you are feeling especially devious, you could do that, or if you just haven't experienced it yet, that you didn't know that that's something you have to not do.
What's this paddle for?
I know.
You know, they actually don't care about paddles. It's when it has like the motor and looks like it could be a bullet or a bomb.
Oh, yeah, this is
right.
true.
So like
Like-
it has to be like a dildo that you're, you know, like, or if I had like a metal flogger or something that was in my bag, then they might be like,
What is this?
What is this?
Let me show you.
That is hilarious.
Let me give you a tutorial.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you know, don't wear anything sparkly either. You know, no pretty sparkly sweaters. I don't care if it's a holiday. Don't do it.
Why is that?
Because
No
you're gonna get a
sparkly.
whole pat down, honey.
Oh, going through security. Okay, I see
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Don't wear it. Don't. You may be excited about whoever you're seeing. You may want to wear this after you get there. Okay, great. Put it in your carry-on. Sure, wonderful.
Oh, man.
But don't wear it through the metal detector. You're gonna get the whole.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We have to touch you everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and they always are like, "Would you like a private room?" And I'm like, "Well, just do whatever you want. Get it over with. I don't have nothing to hide."
Right.
Yeah. It's more
I
embarrassing for them.
appreciate you. I'm sorry. I won't wear a sweater like this again.
Yeah, recovery has to be huge.
Mhm.
So when you do a convention or something like that, then are you out of work for 3 or 4 days post?
You hopefully, if you're smart about it, have made enough money that it doesn't really matter what you're doing the
Right.
week or 2 after, right? Or you know, you just you
Mhm.
plan your schedule in such a way that it's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it only takes me a week to heal, which is nothing.
Nice.
Takes some people a couple weeks.
Right.
It just depends on who you are, what you are. You know, I'm gonna guess that the older I get, maybe it will slow down a little. I am 40, but I'm still healing in a week, so I don't know.
Nice. So, personal preference. Do you prefer beating or taking the beating?
You know, that's an excellent question. I really do enjoy beating the shit out of people.
So you like more of the dom
And
roll?
you say people. So do you do this for women as well?
Mhm.
Okay. So you have female clients as well.
You know, a lot of times I end up picking females as like examples at conventions and stuff because they're just a lot of fun to play with. You know, they're not going to cross any lines.
Right.
And they're just they're a joy. I have had some females buy some videos, but a lot of times I don't really think I'm more of like a European client, kind of like the European folk love me a lot.
Okay.
Okay. It's all the glasses. It's the
That's the nerd.
it's the
It's-
nerd
yeah,
and the
yeah.
schoolgirl. I'm looking at her Instagram. It's adorable. By the way, you want to shoot out your Instagram?
Oh, that's
Yeah, everything. Come on
at
now.
Isabella Dollish. That's Isabella Dollish, Dollish. And if you don't know how to spell Isabella, that's Isibella. Did I spell that right?
You
No.
didn't. You didn't.
I totally did.
ISABELL.
Thank you. I was like, wait a second, I fucked that up. You know, I never did say I was a professional spelling bee person.
Nope.
No,
Just a pro switch.
just a pro switch.
There
and
you go.
And you gave me a drink, so don't look at me.
Hey.
I love how you have your wish list, your Amazon wish list, highlighted in your Instagram bio.
Well, it's a good way to introduce yourself as, hey, I just bought this for you off of your list. I'd like to see you wear it. Like, if you buy me something, you're usually going to get a picture of it, or you're going to see it posted on my Instagram in some way. Depending on, a lot of times I might not give a shout out to you specifically, but I'll make a reference to you in the comment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to sell out who you are.
Right.
Like, if you want to interact in my comments with me, then I'll talk to you all day long, but I'm not going to sell you out.
Right. Gosh.
So, would you say that you find people that are looking for more of a relationship from you?
There are quite a few people that try to play that noise.
I love it. I was wondering because they're like, let me buy you stuff.
Oh,
let me
I know.
take care of you.
Yeah.
With the right arrangement, you can have what I call the girlfriend experience, where I'll come and hang out with you for an extended period of time, and we adventure, and I help you do whatever in your home or whatever. We go get things done. And
Yeah, right.
right? We go get things done.
The girlfriend experience.
With
I
the
like
girlfriend,
that.
yeah, with the girlfriend experience, like you negotiate a certain rate, and certain things are gonna happen, and depending on how far are you flying me? Are you taking me to Europe? Are you
Right.
taking me
Mm-hmm.
just down to LA? Are you taking me
Right.
right? Where are you taking me? So I try to factor in the fact that, oh, we're gonna go to see Broadway plays, and we're gonna go to this museum, and I'm paying for you to get here and back, and you basically, I try not to be super greedy about it, but always make sure that I have enough to have a roof over my head.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And get to do and see all the fun things, huh?
Right. I mean, really what it comes down to is just don't pull out your wallet.
And they're like, we're here, and so
Yeah.
I guess I'll pay for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and they're just paying for your time, and you,
Well, I have an education. I have experience. I'm not your spring chicken trying to jump into this. I've actually been kinky since I was 17,
okay.
right? Like, since actually prior to that, really.
And so, were you
remember hide and seek that I told you about? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I used to collar my friends and drag them around by a leash and collar, and sometimes I'd make them get on all fours in the dance floor, and I would drag them around as like kittens or puppies or whatever.
Okay. Were you spanking them too?
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh. But it wasn't hour-long scenes or negotiations. We were kids, but this is what we enjoyed it, and I'm a natural or something.
I love it. I love it.
So is
Love
that
it.
really just out of curiosity? Is that how you started?
In the BDSM community, that's where my dreams started. I was misguided in the early years because I kind of went after the, whole American dream, white picket fence, 2.5 things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Whatever,
All
dogs, cats, kids, something, right?
Right.
I went after that, had the most beautiful wedding, had a wonderful husband. We're still friends. He's wonderful. But ultimately realized that was not where I belonged. That was not where he belonged. But it was with my ex-husband that we were able to experience some of these things that allowed me to really get a little bit more educated and be more in the real BDSM community versus my own personal playground.
Okay.
Right? So it was like these are my friends and my lovers and partners, and I'm doing all these things too.
So tell us a little bit about the community. Do you guys, you used to have conventions, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, and they'll be once COVID stuff is lifted, they'll come back. Some of them will, hopefully. I know there is a couple that are scheduled to be returning as long as things continue to go in the proper direction. As far as other things, you can go to the private BDSM clubs, even the swinger clubs. All the swinger clubs always have like kink night some night.
Right.
Mhm.
It's one of our favorite nights.
Yeah. And so I'll go out and hand out my cards like when I'm in New York City and have like the evening off because my client's at work or something. I'll go out and hand out my cards.
Nice.
So are you in
Market.
every part of the kink? Like, do you do electricity? Do you do...
I enjoy electricity. I do not have my own violet wand. I haven't been asked to do an electrical scene since I've started this. That's, a little bit more niche.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind being an electric model. That would be kind of fun, I guess. But ultimately, I really like impact play.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember this whole beating?
Yes. We remember. You're a sadomasochist. We got it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I sling around 50-pound bags when I go to the airports, right?
Oh my
so,
God.
right. Yeah, I like to beat shit. I like to work out.
Be
and-
tough.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Only reason I ask, probably when it comes to kinks, electricity has been my favoriteest new one.
Mhm.
Your
And the
favorite
more-
new?
Yeah. In the more recent years, it's been up there in the top 5 at least.
Probably
Being
top 2.
being in the spanking community more so, which is what I've primarily frolicked in,
Mhm.
they're more just about the bum. They care about your butt. They care about a role play. They sometimes care about behavior correction. You know,
Okay.
right? That back to that life
Mhm,
coaching kind
mhm.
of thing. It's all catered to the client, but in spanking land, they don't really care about your breasts. They don't care about your legs or your feet or your whatever. It's all about your bum, and they want to spank your bum and they want to bruise your bum, and they're happy.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like they're a special, that's another niche. Spankos
Yeah.
are a niche. And it's like the most mild, and I think one of the most mild in the kink world because they are just so focused on that. And
Mhm.
they do a really good job of staying within their box. And it's, I've had more issues with consent violations anytime I've wandered over to BDSM conventions or into a BDSM party than I have in a spanking
Mm.
scenario.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get into that?
I started the Thanksgiving week in 2017. Helped host a party at a house in Inglewood. Met somebody who actually, is a part of the company
Mhm.
that the King of Spanking company, which is like real spankings, and they happened to come to my party, and I had just started, and so I made arrangements to go and do an interview at the studio, and did the interview, and I've been working with them since. And
Wow.
I'm scheduled on Friday for another shoot, and been working with them regularly as much as as I can.
Wow. The universe.
The universe. Well,
Crazy.
because like literally, I started the week of Thanksgiving. We hosted that party the first weekend in December is when I met him, and then I did an interview later in December, sometime in December, and then my first shoot was that following January.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It was like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, and then it was in April that I made it to my first convention, and then it went. That was the end of the story. Here I am. Just
Nice.
Does your family know?
yes.
Everybody.
I'm not in a closet now.
Oh, that's
Love
that's
it.
got to feel like...
I mean, I don't tell my dad about being monogamish,
Mm.
but he knows that I'm a model, and I told him that I do spanking stuff, and he knows that I travel, and he knows where I travel. He's actually a part of my safety network now.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
my father wants to know that I'm okay.
Good.
That's awesome. Oh, God, parents, huh?
Well,
Oh.
and he's the one that you really have to worry about.
Yeah.
Ask the neighbor boys from growing up. He's the one you have to worry about.
I believe it.
So you told them all from the get-go.
It was after I was divorced and after I had been doing it for about, I think, a year, maybe a year and a half. I didn't like dancing around the issue of trying to explain why I was in Texas or New York City or something. Well, yeah, I don't like lying, and that was really what it was. Is I was like obfuscating, and I didn't like that. So I was finally like, look, I could be on disability, and I don't want to be on all those medications. So instead of doing that, I'm doing this.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So,
I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, Isabella. We've
It's my
really
pleasure.
enjoyed you.
I know. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
we know your time is so important and precious.
Yes.
And so
we
for
really
you to swing through
appreciate it.
here on your swing through, thank
okay,
you
so
much.
at Isabella Dollish, it will be in the notes, the right spelling.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Drew will take care of that for you.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for tuning into Monogam-ish today and joining us with Isabella. It was such a great talk. Learning so much about what a pro switch is and learning about what the weird kinks are that everybody has. We really appreciate you guys all listening and tuning into that. Plus, we want to know, how many spanks could you handle? So,
How
if
many
you
legs to the center?
So if you could do us a favor and go on your favorite listening website, whether it's either iTunes or iHeartRadio, and drop us a comment. We want to hear from you. So drop a comment on this episode. Let us know what you think and let us know how many spanks you can handle.